So we're developing a comprehensive violence prevention plan. There are over 30 cities throughout our country that have violence prevention plans. Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Oakland, Salinas, San Jose. You can go on those cities' websites and you can read their plans. They're doing amazing things across this country. The city of Long Beach is right there, ready to write our plan. A little bit different about our plan, though, is we want to do comprehensive. We want to look at all the issues of violence affecting our community residents. So what we'll be developing over this next year is a high-level policy document with an implementation plan. The implementation plan essentially is key action steps, activities that we're going to undertake collectively as a city, as residents, as the faith community, community-based organizations, to actually begin to work towards reducing violence in our city. Also, we're looking at the interconnection of family, school, and community violence. The research shows us that those who are in prison and jails for violent crimes, 80% of the time they either were abused as a child or they witnessed their caregiver or a sibling being abused. So it's very clear that what happens in the home affects you for the rest of your life. So we're looking at family violence, that includes child abuse, domestic violence, elder abuse, and those types of scenarios in the home. Then we're going to be looking at our school campuses, altercations, bullying, other issues that are affecting the students on the various school campuses. And last but not least is community violence, what's happening in our streets around hate crimes and gang violence, and really taking an authentic look of what's happening and what we can do as a city to address these issues. This is a list of our partners in the work we're doing, and now you're all, when you signed in today, you signed up to be a partner with us in reducing crime in our city and violence in our city. Our city manager is ultimately responsible for the planning process. Development Services is the department that I work in, and several of my supervisors are here today to show our support as a department in really doing the planning process over this next year. We also are working with all the city departments, so we have libraries who are here, we have Parks and Rec, who are an awesome partner, the police department, Public Works, Pacific Gateway, which is our workforce investment network. We have many city departments that have said yes, we will be partners in reducing violence citywide, as well as community-based organizations, local government, which includes our LA County Probation, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. Our U.S. Attorney's local office is going to be working with us as well. The superintendent, Long Beach City College, Cal State Long Beach, all the big organizations that are here in our city, their top people are saying, yes, count me in, let's figure this thing out. And last but not least is our subject matter experts, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. We've created a steering committee, so the city manager back in January invited members to be a part of a steering committee to oversee the planning process. This group meets quarterly, and it's made up of many of the local government administrators that I shared with you. Our bureau chief for LA County Probation, who's assigned to Long Beach, she's in. The superintendent, he's in. Vice president of City College, he's in. Our chief of police, he's in. Our city prosecutor. We have had several high-level administrators and elected officials say, I'm in, what do I do? Count me as part of the team. We also have experts working in the community around these issues of violence. We have Pastor Gregory Sanders, who leads our city's Ministers Alliance. They're in. He's a part of the steering committee representing the faith community. We also have several other community-based organizations who deal directly with child abuse prevention, domestic violence, gang violence, and the issues that are impacting our city. We also have well-known community residents who are sitting on here as well to make sure that all of your voices are heard in this process. And again, their goal is to oversee the planning, making sure that every decision we make is in alignment with the data, in alignment with what we know works, and is aligned with your opinion during these forums and focus groups. We've created an interdepartment team. So this may sound kind of awkward to all of you as residents, but guess what? Sometimes our city departments don't always work really well together. So we created a team so that we can meet quarterly and we can start collaborating. So that we can work with the libraries to increase literacy rates, so that we can work with Parks and Rec to keep their doors open for our neighborhood kids, to offer youth jobs through Pacific Gateway. So we have a group consultants to come alongside of us. This took us a really long process to select them, but we have selected the National League of Cities. They've helped over the 30 cities I mentioned. They've assisted them in some way, shape, or form in developing their violence prevention plan. We actually have Mario, who's here from San Jose, who's one of a team of 8 consultants who are being deployed to come in and help Long Beach write our plan, look at the data, meet with the community residents. And you're going to meet Mario just here in a little bit, who represents the National League of Cities. But again, these are all experts who are doing this work across the country and who are helping Long Beach. We're doing an analysis, so we're looking at the data across the city. Violent crime rates, homicides, rapes, gang violence, calls for domestic violence, calls for child abuse. We're actually looking at this data as we speak to say what's happening in our city, elder abuse, what's happening in our city around these issues, so that it can begin to inform us how to write our plan. Next, we're building a community resource guide that we'll have available on lbvpp.com. Take a look at our website. We'll have that up and live by sometime towards the end of the summer. And then we're also building a list of evidence-based programs. This basically means programs that work. Programs that are funded that we know actually prevent these different types of violence throughout our city. Next step. So this is where we are today. We're hosting these community forums that I mentioned. We had one at Chavez. We're on the west side. We're going to the north side, and we'll end up over in El Dorado Park. We're having focus groups with smaller groups of people. This morning we met with community-based organizations that are trying to figure this thing out. We're meeting with the faith community. We're going to have a community meeting that's only in Spanish for all of our monolingual Spanish speakers. We're going to have a Cambodian community meeting, an African American community meeting. If those are focus groups that you want to be a part of, let the staff know on your way out. We'll make sure that you get an invitation to those specialized focus groups, so those communities can tell us what is their vision on how they can work together to prevent violence. We're going to have a survey in English, Spanish, and Khmer. If you sign in with an email, you better believe you're going to receive an email from me when we go live with the survey to encourage you to take 15 minutes and fill this survey out about the violence in our city. We're going to be doing extensive community outreach. Like I said, we knocked on over 500 doors in this neighborhood. Every neighborhood we go in, we're going to make sure that the neighbors know that they're welcome to come out and be a part of this. And last but not least, stay up to date on what's happening with the plan on lbvpp.com. All of the findings from today, everything you tell us today, we will not put your name on the website. Confidentially, we're going to put your answers on the website so that people can see we care about community input, we care about the community voice in developing this plan. And in closing, here's all my contact information. This information is also on lbvpp.com. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, you feel free to email me or give me a call.